Okay, this is going to be my story of my time with Chad. There was once a time when I actually tried to be normal, or tried to integrate myself into the normie life. This was back in college, and I'm going to recite some memories for you, a collection of memories of that time. Not really a complete cohesive story, but a series of memories of one summer during my time at university. And it really solidified my realization that I'm just not cut out to be your average cookie cutter guy with the, average love life, average social life, and just all of that. So this was, I think, in the summer of 2013, maybe a little bit later, after that, 2014, 2015, one of those years. Went on a foreign exchange trip to Europe, mostly just running around in London. Spent some time in Scotland, a weekend in Paris. And I got to room with Chad. Of course, Chad isn't his name. I'm just bullshitting here. I'm just using meme speak, but I'm not going to use his real name. Fuck. I don't even remember his real name. That time is such a fucking blur to me now. So I forget a lot of names. I think I know his last name, but first name I'm not too sure about, but we'll call him Chad because he was Chad. I got to room with him for a little while. And during that time, I wasn't desperate. You know what I mean? You have this period where guys who are inexperienced throughout middle school, high school, they get into college and they go all out, right? They go overboard, right? They come off as needy and desperate and trying to fit in. I don't think I was that guy. Maybe I could have been perceived as that guy, but at that point in time, I was really halfway accepting who I was and really thought to myself, yeah, at the end of the day, I am who I am. The weeby, video playing autist. But I did partake in the activities. I didn't want to be the guy who was a complete asshole, who was standoffish. No, I like to think that I'm a friendly guy in general, in the sense that I'll give anyone a fair shake. I'll judge you. I try to judge people on an individual basis. I know that's not easy to do. It's easy to say, oh, I'm very fair and I judge people individually and their care. No, you don't. No, you fucking don't. We all compartmentalize. We all make groups, but I try my best. And I like to say they tolerated me because we all knew the score. We all knew what was up. They knew I was a loner and a socially inept dork. And I knew they were normal. They were the normies. We knew. Ironically, I wasn't the most socially inept person on the trip, if you can believe that. There was actually one other person who was a lot shyer than me, a lot quieter than me. So there's that. There was some solidarity there. But that's a story for another time. We're talking about Chad here. So I remember one time, this was a night in London. We went out to a nightclub. This is my first time ever going to a nightclub called The Hive in London, a little seedy place down in London. And Jesus Christ, did I feel out of place, you know? Instantly came in. The place looked like a fucking drug den, but everyone knew what to do. You know, we went to get some drinks at the bar, but I knew that I was in for one fucking night. Or lack thereof, because once I went in, I decided, what the fuck am I doing in here? What am I doing? Like, what am I gonna do here? Suddenly, you know, fucking become the PUA? You know, like, fuck me. Like, go dancing? Jesus Christ. And so it was my goal that night to get as drunk as possible to just nullify the sensations. You know, didn't want the strobe lights to give me an epilepsy and let that autist rage go out. So I decided, fuck it, let's drink as many cups of fucking vodka mixed with Coke drink as many glasses of vodka with Coke as I can. Let's see how drunk I can get. Turns out I'm more of a sleepy drunk. I'm not an angry drunk, and that's probably for the best. But I was there watching it all. You know, I did try to make some chit chat, but it was just me kind of prowling around the nightclub. Oh God. I can only imagine what I look like. Drunk out of my fucking mind. Well, I wasn't too drunk, but I drank enough to keep myself from fucking just smashing the glass against my head. Get me out of this existential nightmare. If you can believe it, a girl bought me a drink. That's how much of a loser I am. Normally, guys buy girls drinks. A girl bought me a fucking drink. Like, look at this fucking sad sack. Just fucking getting drunk out of his mind at the edge of the bar stool. At the edge of the bar there. Bar counter. I'll buy him a drink out of fucking pity. Well, yeah, you know, I walked out early, of course. Came in with the entourage, left alone, and just fucking slept the night away. So that's one little experience. Another one was just you know, just learning about the life of these people. Just blew my mind how foreign these concepts were to me. Like, there was this one time we were all in a group just drinking beers, you know, getting ready for the night's activities, when the topic of sex came up, right? Not really. It was just loosely mentioned. The Chad of our group mentioned it. My roomie Chad said that, you know, it was the topic of you know, dating came up, and he mentioned to everyone in the group, he wasn't bragging, he was just saying matter of fact. This guy didn't need a brag. I mean, I guess you could say he was a bit of a sleazebag. He wasn't, you know, he wasn't a goody two shoes. He wasn't sort of the straight and narrow kind of guy, sort of the all-American. No, he was more of a mover and shaker. This guy was planning on working on Wall Street. He's probably some kind of broker in Wall Street right now. Some capital management shit right now. Making a pretty lucrative career for himself. But, yeah, the topic of dating came up, and he was just, you know, talking about his life. And he told us, guys and girls, because it was, you know, guys and girls on the trip, that he fucked 40 girls in 1 month. Like, he was a sophomore at the time, I think. 40 girls in 1 month. Can you believe that? 40 nubile college-age women. You fuck all of them. 1 month. I can't even believe it. And I believed him. You know, you could say, oh, well, that's bullshit. Liar. He's exaggerating. But I believe him. I really believe him. You know, he said it so matter of fact. He wasn't bragging. He wasn't being braggadocio. He just said it matter of fact. And I believe him because I was his roommate for a while. And he fucked different girls on the regular. In fact, the person he was talking to when he said, I fucked 40 girls in 1 month, was his fuck buddy on the trip, right? This was a girl he just met, and she became his fuck buddy on the trip. Can you believe that shit? Here's a little story about that, is that this girl was his sort of temp girlfriend, right? Fuck buddy. And during the trip, he would play her along in the sense that his SMV, sexual market value, was higher than his. He was just frankly more attractive than her. And during the trip, they break up for a day, right? Because, the guy didn't care about her, right? The guy was, I mean, look, I'm not taking sides here. I'm not going to white knight some girl. It is what it is. This is just college life. But, this guy decided to break up for one day. They have a little fight so he could fuck some Parisian girl for one night, and then they get back together, and he's fucking her brains out again the next day after the little fight. Just gotta fuck a different girl that one day, and then, okay, got that out of my system. We can go back to our semi pseudo relationship, more like fuck buddy. Can you believe that? So going back on track, he tells this girl, his fuck buddy, I fuck 40 girls. She says gross, right? She says gross. But like, but at the same time, she's his fuck buddy. It's amazing, right? Like there's this illusion of social acceptance because someone says, you're a girl, and someone says, I fuck 40 girls in 1 month. The socially acceptable thing to say is, ew, that's gross, that's disgusting. But there's the hypocrisy that she's fucking him too. Strange. And I witnessed this, and I thought, like, Jesus Christ. 40 different girls in 1 month. Put yourself in that position. Soak that in for a second. You're a guy, you fuck 40 different girls in 1 month, and this was a fairly conservative school, relatively speaking, in the U.S. It was a private university, and so like, not all, but a good percentage of those girls were just, were never had experience, were probably virgins. Imagine that. You can walk up, you're that guy, you can walk up to 40 different dads and say, hey, I fucked your little girl. Amazing. Just the contrast between my life and that. What else? What other memories? Let's wrap this up, huh? Maybe I'll talk more about it later, but I want to end with this one note. While we were in Paris that one weekend, we had to go out. We wanted to eat cheese and wine like a bunch of bourgeois fucks under the what do you call it? Fuck me, I'm retarded. The Eiffel Tower. Little brain fart there. And we were getting completely drunk off wine. Having our little wine and cheese fucking picnic, but mostly it's mostly wine. And everyone was getting drunk. And we were now strolling the market area, and then we walked up to this wine merchant. I'm calling him just some guy selling wine. And Chad gets in a little fight. The guy's a little bit sloshed, he's a little bit drunk. And I don't know the exact reason, but him and this guy, the guy selling the wine, got mad. They got into a little fight, is what I'm saying. And what ends up happening is Chad purchases a bottle, right? and then throws it fucking at the merchant. And I'm like, fuck me, dude. Like, what the hell are you doing? Of course, we all had to haul ass. And so we didn't want to get in trouble with the cops, but fuck me. And here's the kicker. That's not the point of the story. The point of the story is that we all get drunk, but Chad gets especially drunk. And I was still rooming at him at the time. And this was a 2-bedroom apartment. It was not really an apartment. It was a dorm. It was just two beds in one little dorm area. We were sharing a room, and there was my bed and his, and there was a little space between them. If you can imagine it, it's like one bed on one side of the room, another bed on the other side, and in between us is sort of like a little drawer space, just the standard dorm room. I wake up after that night. I see Chad. Pants at his ankles, fucking boxers on. His pants are at his ankles. He's in the space between me and his bed and mine, and he's lying in his pool of vomit. This is like a scene from a fucking college movie. I thought this happened to hobos in alleyways in your local dive bar, but holy shit, I see Chad lying in his pool of chunky vomit. Unconscious. I couldn't fucking believe it. I'm like, man. And you think to yourself, like, maybe we're not so different. We're just people. We like to give shit like, oh wow, these fucking millennial degenerates are fucking doing drugs, slinging dope, getting drunk. But am I any better? Am I really any better? Because I fucking spend the night away playing computer games and video and watching anime and wasting away that way, but he wastes away a different way. Two sides of the same coin. He chooses alcohol and indulgent and sex and flings, and I choose digital drugs. Whatever. But here's the kicker. Like I said, I see him in his pool of vomit, pants at his ankles, face planting in his pool of vomit. You got to see this. Ass in the air. I'm like, holy fuck. I decided to take a shower. I didn't want to disturb him in his slumber. And can you believe it? His fuck buddy comes in, goes up to him, and tends to him, takes care of him. This is the guy who broke up with him to fuck breaks up with her to fuck another girl, and then after fucking that girl, just trying to repair that fuck buddy relationship all in 1 week. And she puts up with it. She tends to him. She wipes the vomit off him. Gives him a massage. Hand feeds him Advil or Benadryl or whatever. That sort of syrupy, liquidy medicine. I see this all happen. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'll never be that guy. I'll never be that guy. I'll never be him. And that's when it really clicked in my head, like, we're just living in two different worlds, And as friendly as I can be, as gregarious and outgoing as I can be, I'll just never be that guy. That will never be my life. That's when it really clicked. When I saw that girl just wiping vomit off of him and tenderly just giving him Benadryl. This is a guy covered in his own vomit, pants at his ankles. The dude was barely conscious during all of this. And I'm like, damn. Damn, damn, damn. Well, I guess that's all I wanted to say. Just really wanted to contemplate the difference, the stark night and day difference between his life and mine. Just really makes you fucking think.